All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the tutorial on how to do the 1-point perspective room, which is our next project. Our paper is 9 by 12 drawing paper. We've got a ruler and a very sharpened 2H pencil, nice and sharp. This ruler, you'll notice, will not go end to end. So you have to kind of estimate and guess. Imagine that line continuing. So your first step is to draw a line. We're going to continue that line. So I'm looking straight down at this, and I'm going to continue that line off to the side. For you, I want you to go very lightly with your pencil. I am pushing much harder than I want you to push so that you can see it in this video. We're pushing lightly because we will be erasing a lot of these lines. When I erase today, you'll still see probably a ghost image of that line left over. We don't want those to exist on yours. Therefore, please make sure to do light lines. So that goes corner to corner. Next, we're gonna go the other side, corner to corner. Remember to look straight down from your ruler, line the entire length up of your previous line, and then go out. And I'd like for you to do this along with me right now. You'll notice that in this corner, my line didn't end up perfectly up in the corner. That's okay, that's not gonna affect anything. Try and get it as close as you can. Our next step, we're using this end of the ruler here to line up on our paper to do the back wall, which is either a horizontal or a vertical line. So I'm lining this up here. Look for the size of this triangle right here. Try and match that. It's maybe about an inch high or so. And be very, very precise about this lining up on the edge. If it's not precise, it's gonna make your whole project challenging. So you're gonna get really good at looking straight down. It's best if your head is like right here and you're looking straight down at this. You'll then draw a line like this. And this is a horizontal line, because when we know that, because it's perfectly lined up on the side there. I have transitioned to this clear ruler for the demo so that you're able to see through what I'm doing. You guys are still gonna be using this silver ruler. This one is a lot easier to use because this end is a very straight end. If I look at the end over here with the clear ruler, it's much more challenging to use, but it's easier for the process of learning. So that's why I've switched to the clear ruler. Where the top of our, or the place where the top of our wall has met the side, I'm gonna do a little dot. I'm gonna show you all the next steps here in a row. So do me a favor and just watch first. I'm gonna line the top edge up, draw straight down, draw another little dot. Line up on the left. That dot should be right on the edge of my ruler. I'm double checking to make sure this is perfect. Connect over. And I'm gonna do it here as well. Line up on the top and draw down. If you have measured things perfectly, this will end up a perfect box, as mine has. Once that's there, this centered dot is our vanishing point. That dot stays there, but this other line here, we're going to erase. This is why you guys want to use draft lines. It makes it a lot easier to erase. For this perspective room, we're doing a draft of it. This is the place for you to practice this practice does need to have some elements that show up. And on the board behind me, I have listed some of those choices. I'm gonna be drawing all of them, but you get to choose which one you want to do. I'm gonna go step by step and draw both. I'm then going to pause and then give you a choice and on which to do, and then you actually do that. So the first thing on the board is door or a doorway. I'm gonna be doing both. During this time where I'm doing the demo up here, I want your hands to be totally still so that you can watch what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna start by doing a door. I want you to call out what type of line I'm doing here. Vertical. Oh, I didn't line up anything. Gotta make sure to do that. Okay. To figure out how tall my door is, what type of line is this? Vanishing point line. Okay. So that's the top there. If I want to measure the middle and put the doorway or the door handle in the middle, I can measure. I've got, let's just say 4 inches. So 2 would be halfway. And let me just get myself a vanishing point line here. So right there would be the door handle. Okay, so there is a door. I'm gonna do a doorway on the other side. So same sort of setup. What type of line is this? Everybody call out, what type of line is this? It's easier to just actually have it touch there. Okay, now, what is this? Okay, so now I have one room, and now I have another one. So this is a doorway on the left. So I've got a door here on the left, and then a doorway on the right. All right, so as I was walking around, I noticed some of you made hallways and some of you made another room through this doorway. So to show the rest of you that didn't see that, to create another room, I took this bottom line at the back of my back wall here, and I continued that over here. If you want to make a doorway, or sorry, a hallway, then you make, what type of line would this be? Horizontal. Then you go like this instead. And then that line would be erased. Okay, so this is now a hallway, right? Because it goes like this. Okay, versus a new room, which would be there instead. For the design purposes that I want for this space, I'm actually gonna keep it a room that's next to it. Either is totally fine. I just want you to understand the differences between those. Okay. All right, next step. I am actually gonna erase my door because I'm gonna draw a bookshelf there. I showed you how to do it. You had one of those options to do, either the hallway or the door. I'm gonna erase it because I'm gonna put a bookshelf there. I also need a space for my couch or bed. Okay. All right. There's all sorts of really fun things that we can add into this room to make it even more creative and unusual and unique. Right now, I'm just showing you like the basics. Window or skylight is the next easiest thing to do. I am going to do both. So I'm gonna do a skylight first, okay? When doing the skylight, I'm gonna start with where I want it to start in my ceiling. What type of line is this? horizontal, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of lightly sketch in here. Right now, remember, you should be watching only. And how big or how deep do I want it to be? What type of line is this? Horizontal again, okay? Next, I'm gonna determine the lines that are gonna go this way. These, what type of line are they gonna be, do you think? Vanishing point lines, that is correct. So I wanna make sure that it's even on both sides. So I'm actually gonna measure 1 inch from the side, do a little line, 1 inch from the side, do a little line. So I've got 2 dots here because I know I want that to be centered. Get myself my vanishing point line and my vanishing point line. So I lined it up. Okay. And then I can erase those outside draft lines. Okay. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to this so you can really see closer what I'm doing for the skylight. Okay. My next step is to show the depth of it. So I am going to add another line here. What type of line is this going to be? Vertical. Okay, so I'm going to line up the bottom of my, or the top of my ruler on the top of the page here. Look straight down, and I'm going to measure 1 centimeter because that's how deep I want it to be. And come back over here again and measure 1 centimeter. Okay, I now have these lines here and the dots. What type of line am I going to use to connect these two? When I ask those questions, I love hearing your answers. I'd like to hear everybody speak out nice and loud as well so that the camera can pick it up. Okay, now this one, I need to go back. Is it, what type of line will that be? Correct. I heard from one person there, vanishing point line. Thank you. It's easy when someone gives you the answer first. Vanishing point here on this side. Vanishing point line. Okay, I now have a skylight. I'm gonna shade it just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to go over those lines so they're a little darker and easier for you to see. Skylight. Okay. When I shaded, what was the direction of this line? Okay. Is there any lines on here that are not either vanishing point, horizontal, or vertical? No. Correct. All right, next is a window. And I'm gonna do a tall window up here. Well, no, let's see. I think I'll do a window here. So again, the first step is to see like how deep I want that window to be. What type of lines are these? Vertical. Okay. What type of line is this? Okay. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see this a little closer as I do the rest of it. Okay. Now, just like here where I did those 2 dots, I'm going to do the same thing on that side. Okay. Now these ones, what type of line do they get? Horizontal. This might be hard to remember. And I'm going to measure again. What type of line is this? I now have 2 new dots here. Okay. And what type of line is this? And this down here. Okay. Okay. All right. So now I have my window frame. There's still a little bit of a line from my door that are showing up because I pushed so hard. Please remember to do draft lines, which are really light and easier to erase. We're not done with the window. There's more, so don't start yet. We need to do a crossbar on the window. So windows are a level up from the skylight because they've got a crossbar. If you feel like challenging yourself, then do the window. So to do the crossbar, we actually are going to make a cross. So I'm gonna go from this corner to this corner. This is the part of the actual wall right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do my cross. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is the center point. This is my new dot right there. Vanishing point line is going to bisect that like this. And then a horizontal line is going to go in the middle. I'm going to get rid of my angled lines there because we don't need those anymore. And make that just a little bit darker so you can see it. Okay. I'm also going to shade in this a little bit. What type of line am I shading with? Horizontal. Perfect. Okay. What type of line am I shading this with? Vanishing point. Perfect. Okay. All right. So we've got the crosshairs. That made this cross in the middle. Okay. What type of line is this, folks? No. This is a vanishing point line, not a horizontal line. What type of line is this one right here? Horizontal. What about this one right here? Horizontal. Good. All right, so we've got the window and the skylight. Choose one and do it.